Hi, my name is Sajan Blair, and the book I'm going to talk about today is The Great Game of Business. The book is basically about a gentleman and other employees who decided to buy a factory from International Harvester that was responsible for retrofitting and repairing trucks and trailers. This is the story of Jack Stack and this company that he started, SRC, and how he built the business and made it work. Was there a Wikipedia article about the book? There was about Jack Stack and some things that he had accomplished, but as far as the book goes, no, right now. Anyways, after reading this book, I think the most important thing that I walked away from with was probably the people. The people are the most crucial part of the business, the most important tool that you have to use, and they have to work together. You have to break down those traditional boundaries that you have between the people in finance and the people in sales and the people and the customers, even. You want everybody to work together and understand what the lady does in the tax room and the guy in the suit does on the top floor, or even the lady who runs the company. Everybody needs to understand each other's jobs. This is you have to build a community, is what he was telling us. This community of people that want to come to work and want to work together and want to be challenged. They need all of these things, and they're vested in the company. And if you can inspire that and get that out of your workers, they're going to love it there, and they're going to want to come back every day to see the company succeed. And that's one of the strongest tools you have to make any kind of business work, regardless of what product you're producing or servicing towards people. That's what you've got. But that's not the only important factor that he did talk about. There are other mechanizations within the business that people have to get in order to make it work. And one of the biggest ones that he did talk about was the numbers. People have to understand the numbers. Like, why are you making money? And how could you make more? How much is it costing you to be on the floor as the guy fixing the truck versus how much is it costing the lady in the office to be there? And once you understand these things that are existing in stasis on a balance sheet or an income statement, people can really visualize what's happening inside of this company from a financial basis. And if you could really understand that and teach that to your people, well, you have a really strong chance of success at that point. Well, there are also other things that he talked about, like goals. Goals are huge to a company, and it's also really important how you create them because they can't just be high reaching, unattainable goals for the everyday worker. They have to be a little bit smaller than that and a little bit more easily accessed to somebody who's just there every day. And I mean, you want your people to be able to succeed and to win. We want them to win and to keep on winning, and that'll keep them wanting to play the game and coming to work every day. He also talked about things like bonuses, which relate back to that, and then standards, because you have to have them to create things like bonuses. And there are also the higher laws of business that occur throughout the book, which are also important. But ultimately, it still comes back down to that aspect of people. All of these other things like standards and bonuses and goals are really just a tool to motivate your people to be fully invested and want to come back to work every day and to continue to play the great game of business with you, because without that your chances of success, regardless of how much capital you have, are limited at best. You want them to all be there. As far as the things that maybe I don't really get about the book, some of this information seems just a touch dated to me, but maybe that's because we're so inundated in psychology nowadays that we understand Maslow's hierarchy of needs and wanting to be self actualized. So 20 years ago, maybe that was a little bit more cutting edge. Not that it's not important, but, anyways, I think that reading this book is worth it alone for some of the anecdotal stories that he gives us, because if you could put a group of people in a room and say, we have a problem, I can't get steel from the steel mill over to the company. And a guy says, well, hey, let's take this dude dressed up like a nun and put him in a school bus because the people who are blowing out the tires on our trucks aren't going to shoot at a school bus with a nun driving it, right? I mean, that's really clever, and that's not something you hear every day. So, just for the clever things Jack Stack has to say from his own personal history and business, I think the book is very much worthwhile. As far as how many takes it took to get here, I don't really want to talk about it. It was a lot. I didn't actually count. Recording your voice to this tricky program is not the easiest thing I've ever done since I'm running two programs right now to record and then be able to loop back a voice to piece it all together when I finally get to the end of this presentation. Anyways, thank you and have a good day.